What is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about 3 crypto gems that I'll be looking to invest in 2024. I expect these projects to explode in the coming months, but do be patient, Padawan. These things do not happen overnight. It's going to take some time for these to pick up because they are utility tokens, ones that need to get you more and more users to essentially grow. But I think they're in a great position to get in now. But the like button's feeling a bit lonely, so if you could, whilst you're there, maybe just subscribe as well, but let me share some knowledge. So as we know, crypto had a stellar 2023, it's all on the up, but we're still not even into altcoin season yet, it's still pretty early, and if we look at just the halving cycle, we can see here that we're still pretty early. This is August 2024, and we don't actually start to see these rises until the next few months, and that's when we really start to get into altcoin season. So I expect a lot of projects to start to blow up. We really need to be looking at the narratives and what people are going to invest in. So getting into it, we're starting with number one. It is 4chain, also known as Rune on the blockchain. And essentially it is just a DEX, a decentralized exchange. I don't know how many of you are still using centralized exchanges, but ever since a lot more regulation has come in, there's a lot more KYC, and if you set up an account, it can take up to a few days before you can actually use your deposit or do anything. I know a lot of people in crypto, if you're like me, have very little patience for waiting for this to get approved. Also, people just want to kind of stay under the radar, right? Like, the idea of crypto was that we could just trade and buy it without people really knowing much about us. So when they find out all our information, you have to upload your ID, etc. Suddenly you're very visible to anyone who wants to find you. So Q decentralized exchange, and that's essentially what 4chain is. So we can see decentralized cross-chain infrastructure, and you can essentially just swap tokens. You can earn or borrow against your tokens, but you basically have self-custodial of your assets at all time, which is obviously, again, something that we've seen in the last year or two, where we had the FTX crash, we had Celsius crash, etc. People are looking to hold on to their assets themselves whilst also trying to earn on their assets. So decentralized exchanges really have a place in crypto in the next few years, and I think that 4chain Rune has a big opportunity in that. If we take a look at their tweet scout, we can just see that their followers have just been rapidly growing. And whilst the score has been going down, I mean, just the followers growing alone is enough. We can see it's very much on the uptrend. So it mostly looks good. I just use the free version of Tweet Scout. You don't really need the paid version of it. But if we look at TradingView, we can go to 4chain, Rune USDT, and we can see that it has actually risen quite a lot, but we have seen a massive pullback since then, and we can see this channel pattern here. And if we take a look at where it sort of started to bounce properly, we can see that it's come down to this level here. So we've had a nice pullback. I don't know if it's going to come more. Nobody kind of knows that, but this has had quite a pullback. We've pulled back from highs of 7.3 to 4.4, which is around 40%. So, I mean, it's a pretty good time to get in now, despite a huge rise already. I just think that this is a good project to get into. But I know some of you are saying, well, it's already worth over $1 billion. I mean, yes, guys, I don't think this is going to do 100x, but you're probably looking at between a 5 and 10x, which a 5 and 10x is actually pretty good if you had 1 grand in there, because that's what you had, and you turned it into 10,000, you wouldn't be that sad. On the other hand, if you're going after 100x and it just plummeted, you were left holding the bag, then you're going to be pretty sad if you turn that 1 grand into $100 because you didn't really do it right. So you want to be looking for these tokens with true utility and that actually have a case. And obviously these bigger ones that have a lot of upside are probably going to be some of your best bets because they're only really going to go up. They're getting more and more users on, the narrative is strong, there's a strong use case for it, unlike a lot of your 100x meme coins that you think you're going to just become super rich overnight, because majority you are actually going to go poor by making these decisions, because other people who have planned to get out way before you are actually just going to leave you holding the bag. So something like 4chain is actually a very good project to get into. And even if we look at the trading volumes here, we can see that since August it's absolutely skyrocketed, and even though we're pulling back quite a lot, trading volumes still remain high. So I think that a lot more people are trading on chain for this, despite the pullback. Obviously, a portion of this was just hype, or people trying to sell, people just trying to get in and just get out. But for a long-term hold, I think this is a really good project. Number 2 is Multi-Bit Bridge. And essentially this is a bridge. That's kind of how I'd explain it. It's pretty hard to understand how it really works whilst reading their site. It gets a little bit confusing, but essentially you would be able to use crypto on the Bitcoin chain and be able to trade with other chains whilst maintaining your coins on the BRC. So you would just be able to mint on the Ethereum network using your Bitcoin. It just makes it a lot more seamless. Obviously, when you're exchanging crypto, obviously we can see as well they've got Polygon there as well. So there is more options available, and as they expand, they will add more chains. But as you know, using crypto, it's quite difficult to move your coins around or just switch between chains. You just have to use a lot of different things, a lot of different softwares, exchanges, etc. That this just makes it a lot more seamless. And I think that's what we need in crypto, to just make it a lot more easier to do anything essentially. If we take a look at their Tweet Scout, we can see that their followers have been rapidly increasing, which again is awesome. So it is just still a good project to get into for this one. And again, if we take a look at TradingView, we can see a similar pattern where it's come right down. If we take a look at the support, we can see one around here. There's a lot of bouncing. So this is actually a true buy zone. I would say anywhere between these two is a true buy zone. We had a big rally, so there definitely is a lot of interest in it. Obviously, there's some just buyers and sellers in here who are just looking to make a quick profit, but we are absolutely in a buy zone right now. So this is definitely a good time to get in. The upside is pretty big for this one, I believe, as people will look for easier ways to exchange their crypto or move it around without having the hassle of constantly just having small amounts of coins in different projects, small amounts of coins in different exchanges, etc., because of the extra little bits of fees or moving X to Z. If we can make that more seamless, it has a real big place in crypto. And if we take a look at the market cap, actually, we've seen obviously this rally, and we've obviously done the pullback, but we're still at a pretty small market cap. Now, I don't know how much this will go, but I easily think there's at least a 10x in there. Obviously, as you know, the smaller the market cap, the higher the upside potential. It really just depends on how much it catches on. But even just looking at a year, we're up 2,000% already, which gives you an indication of how this is going to move. But I just think that we are at a good position for a potential buy-in to Multi-Bit. Obviously, again, not financial advice, but it's a good project, and it really does have a good place in crypto, where we're just trying to make things easier and more accessible for everyone to use. And the final project that I'm going to talk about is AutoNolas. And AutoNolas is essentially just a framework for people to develop decentralized apps on there. And it just essentially makes it easier for developers to build things. They have a lot of frameworks already for them to just roll out projects much easier, so people can kind of bootstrap things. And again, it kind of comes back to the AI projects like Render, where it just makes it more accessible for small-time developers to create things, because everyone has a lot of good ideas, but maybe they don't have the capital or the structure to create these things. So AutoNolas basically builds that structure for them already and just makes it a lot easier. So all those decentralized apps that are built on the AutoNolas will start to use their token, trade in their token. So suddenly you get this huge network of projects on this blockchain that are using the Nolas token. So if some of those grow very well, you're going to find utility in the token. So it's almost like buying an incubator in a way. You're getting an incubator of all of the projects that are built on the AutoNolas framework. If we take a look at the price, ever since sort of their release, they have gone up a lot, but they've just been trading a lot sideways, obviously towards sort of the downtrend. After we've seen this rally, it's kind of fair enough. I would say this is sort of the buy zone. I would expect anything between here, so anywhere around 4.49 to 3.48, somewhere there is a good buy zone for AutoNolas. But if we just look at the on-chain activity on June.com, we can see despite the price trading sideways and peaking, we can actually see a lot more transactions happening on the network, and it's increasing. So this just shows that a lot more is happening on chain that even the price doesn't reflect. So I think this has the potential to do at least a 10x as well. All of these have the potential to do more, but I would say most between 5 and 10x minimum. So they're just good projects to kind of guarantee a return when compared to obviously your meme coins, etc., or your just project that your friend tells you about. These are actually projects with good foundations, so it's worth considering. Obviously not financial advice as always, but if we just take a look at their followers as well, also again just rapidly rising. So just a good project to get involved. Obviously I'm not sponsored by these projects. I wish they would sponsor me, but I have like no subs, so why would you sponsor me? But I think they're just really good projects, so worth looking out for. And again, if you do like the videos, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps me. Thanks.